Villain Martin Fitzwater is back and vows to go all out for the Olympia. Tonio Burton attacks him and threatens to kick him out of the top. The Hendrickson says he's the greatest of all time. Fame is going to his head. How humble these guys are. In today's video, I'm going to cover all these current topics in international bodybuilding fitness. I couldn't care less about the national scene. Let's start with the topic of Martin Fitzwater. I think he needs no introduction, but just in case. He's a high-level open bodybuilder who has been placing well at the Olympia, getting a 4th place, a 5th place in 2025. He's been in major controversies lately. You already know, I've mentioned it many times and won't explain again. This is the official statement that Martin has made.
Probably had one of the worst months of my life.
Probably one of the worst months of my life. Not just business, but performance. Also, to say that you got yourself into that hole, Martin, and that it was your fault. Business, yes. Sponsors left you because you physically assaulted Nick, insulted him, didn't shake his hand, insulted Andrew, attacked the presenter, etc. Well deserved. He seems to have reflected and done some self-criticism, and now he's back. He credits his friend Brett and is grateful to him. He's one of Martin's best friends. He's, let's say, his soulmate. He's one of the best and most loyal friends Martin has had since the beginning. And you have to say about Brett that he's a true friend. No matter how much Martin messes up and gets into controversy after controversy, he's still here supporting his friend with everything against everyone. I've seen him stand up for him a lot these months. Brett is so big, he counts as an entire group of friends. I'll make a video about him soon. And Martin says they're just guessing. 17 weeks until the Olympia, and he's doing everything he can, working as hard as he can to come back in a big way and make a statement, like showing up and making an impact, saying, "Here I am." And I hope so, I hope he makes it, because in the last competitions, it hasn't been Martin Fitzwater, but Fitzwater. His conditioning, his hardness has left much to be desired. He came in soft, watery, those haven't been his best performances. If you're wondering, Martin qualified for Olympia since winning the Prague Pro in 2025. In that event, he finished ahead of Krizo, Kion and Samson, bringing one of the most brutal versions we've seen in bodybuilding in recent years. Hard, rock solid, defined, big, dense, even aesthetic. Did he show up? I'm not sure if it was luck, but he looked spectacular and hasn't repeated that performance. If he can do something similar at Mr. Olympia, I hope he does. He could get into a top 5, top 4 like he did back in the day. Who knows? Maybe even top 3. Hey, let's not underestimate Martin, because once in a while he can really do some damage. He usually gets it wrong, but sometimes he's right. I should also mention that he uploaded this update a week ago, and oh my god, look at Martin, incredible. What legs. He looks huge, massive, full, even with good definition. And I would say that his back posing is a bit improved, so watch out, because maybe he might bring his best look or his worst. With Martin, you never know. Tonio Burton couldn't let this go. Who is this man? Tonio, Predator Burton, the bodybuilder of the moment, has won 3 bodybuilding shows this season. The Mexico Pro, the Legends Sport Fest, and the New York Pro. Along with Andrew, he is the bodybuilder this year who has won the most competitions and has brought his best look. He has come out amazing, really. He knows he can make an impact and said, "I'm very confident about the Olympia, getting into the top 6 or 5. And I think I'll manage to kick Martin out." That's what he said. Kick out Martin.
We'll kick out Martin.
No, like he's going to kick him in the butt and throw him out of there. Strong statements from Tonio. And Evan comments Martin is going to physically go after him for this. And it has 517 likes. Well, be careful because Martin might still hit Tonio, or at least insult him from afar. Sorry. We must admit he has greatly improved and surprised the world. Even I've been very impressed by his latest appearances with that old school physique. Big, dense, with 3-dimensional muscle pumped. With good definition and pretty good aesthetics. But will it be enough to beat Martin and get into a top 6 or 5 at Olympia, which is Tonio's goal? I think he can achieve it. It seems everyone here is forgetting Nick Walker, who is a top 6 Olympia competitor. Last year didn't go so well, and maybe this year he'll do better, like at the Arnold, where he looked incredible, so Nick could also get into a top 5 or 4. I think the fight is going to be between Martin and Nick. Tonio and Krizo to be in that top 5, and it's going to be very exciting. I like it. I like that Tonio throws a little shade at Martin, saying he's going to kick him out. It adds a bit of life to the situation. We'll see if he has to eat his words or not. And now let's go with Brandon Hendrickson. I've heard that men's physique guys are very humble. You know, I'm being ironic. I don't know if anyone remembers the days of Jeremy Buendia. The ego he had, the trouble he caused, and Brandon too, mind you. Well, Brandon Hendrickson has said this. I'm going to say it in the most humble way I can. He starts saying that I'm not here just because of my titles, but because of what I've represented. That men's competitors should work more on their legs, ways of posing, changing eras, blah blah blah. He ends up saying he changed an era, marking a before and after, right? That's why he thinks I'm the GOAT.
Compared to men's physique, I've changed the era, so I think I'm a GOAT.
GOAT isn't a goat, okay? He's not saying I'm a horned mammal. Those are the initials for greatest of all time. The greatest of all time. That's what Brandon Hendrickson said he is. Brandon Hendrickson is the greatest of all time. Brandon Hendrickson. It's like when people say El Chocas is the world's best streamer. El Chocas. Humble folks. Let's analyze objectively using statistics and data to see if he's the greatest of all time. But first I want to say something. I think the GOAT should never be self-proclaimed. Facts, not your own words, are what have to prove it. And people have to determine it unequivocally, right? It's like, okay, this is the greatest. But you can't say it yourself like, I'm the greatest. Let's dive into the stats and some history of men's physique bodybuilding. This category has existed from 2013 to 2026. There have been 13 Mr. Olympia winners, and these are the winners. The one with the most victories, and the guy who was there when men's physique basically started, is Jeremy Buendia. Jeremy was the one who established what men's physique is. He was the benchmark and standard for men's physique. For many years, he was what they were looking for. The 4 Mr. Olympia titles he won. Years later, other champions came along, and Brandon Hendrickson ended up winning 3 Olympias. He even has 2 Arnold Classics, and he has also been placing very well, 2nd, 3rd, 4th places. But then Ryan Terry came along, who is the current champion. He also has 3 Olympias, just like Brandon, but he has 3 Arnolds, 1 more. He has a 2nd place, a 3rd, a 4th, and a 5th. Objectively, he has fewer good placements at the Olympia. He hasn't had as many placements as Brandon, who's been here since men's physique was even a thing. In terms of titles, they'd be pretty even, but we have to say that Ryan is the current champion. And that also has to count because the level in men's keeps getting higher. And on the other hand too, we'd have to compare them. We can argue about which physique is better. Brandon's is spectacular, no doubt. But I think Ryan is exactly what men's physique category should be, and he's the current standard. We have to mention how complete he is, how balanced he is, and the incredible physical condition he has. And then we have Buendia, who has the most titles, and for me, is also the one who has defined what men's physique is in the last decade. So, who is the greatest of all time? I'm sorry, but for me, it's Jeremy Buendia. I don't know if you agree with me. And then the other 2 men could pretty much be tied, both competing for that title. And maybe this Olympia will decide it and will clear up the question of who is the greatest men's physique competitor of all time. Because if one of these gentlemen wins his 4th Olympia, tying with Buendia, but with a physique that's at a higher level than Buendia's, as it is today, well, who knows? But that's still to be seen. There were several interesting competitions this weekend, which you can see in yesterday's video. We'll end here. Hope you enjoyed it. This is Aries YT Bodybuilding signing off. See you next time. Bye.